All right, everybody, huddle up. It's time for the snap count. Before you pick your wideouts, before you lock in your RB1, you've got a franchise decision to make. Joe Burrow, the ice vein surgeon with a rocket release, and Jamar Chase on speed dial.
Going deep, Jamar Chase, he's got it! Chase to the end zone, that's a Bengal touchdown!
It shows his poise in the pocket, moving around back there. He's been doing jump passes this year, so he's been doing it all, man. He's just an outstanding quarterback back there.
Or Josh Allen, the human battering ram, with a cannon arm and red zone cheat code built in.
Allen will run it himself, he pumps, got some daylight, hurdles to the end zone! Touchdown!
We've seen the discernment in taking care of the ball. I just feel like he's repeating the phrase in his head, it's the plays that you don't make that could win you the game, because we know he's dominant.
These are two elite quarterbacks with two very different weapons and one fantasy draft. It's your pick and the season is already on the line. Who are you taking, Burrow or Allen?
Josh Allen has become the greatest protector of the football in the sport.
He's got all the throws you want. He's close to the top of the league in that department. He is the most game-changing power thrower in football. That's how special he is.
Burrow is the boogeyman. He took out Josh Allen with no problem whatsoever. Dick seemed completely unfazed, and he seems to be having a contagious effect on the rest of the team.
If fantasy football were a job interview, Josh Allen walks in with a 4-year resume of domination. Since 2021, he's finished no lower than QB4. He's averaged about 24 fantasy points per game, piling on rushing touchdowns, explosive plays, and volume through the air.
Play action. Allen. Deep downfield, wide open, touchdown!
Allen gives you raw stats, and a lot of them. But Joe Burrow, when he's healthy, he's a top 5 technician.
I said that Joe Burrow was going to be top 5, and he's now proven his exact place.
In 2022, he ranked 4th among quarterbacks with nearly 4,500 yards and 40 total touchdowns.
Got to get it out. There he is to the end zone, and he comes down.
He's the kind of player who doesn't just light up the box score, he controls the entire flow of a game. But here's the catch. Burrow's missed time in 2 of the last 3 seasons. In 2023, it was the calf, followed by his wrist. In 2024, he started slow, but when he clicked, Joe Cool was unstoppable, tossing 12 touchdowns through a 4-game stretch near the end of the season.
Burrow with the ball, 1st and goal. End zone, caught, Higgins, touchdown!
So the question is this. Do you want the guy who always delivers even when he's off, or the guy who's only elite when he's on the field? Allen gives you volume and chaos. Burrow gives you rhythm and control. Both can win you weeks, but only one's been doing it nonstop for 4 years. If you're drafting a fantasy quarterback for safe throws and checkdowns, you're in the wrong segment. Reason being is that these two make plays that other quarterbacks just can't even imagine. Let's start with Josh Allen. This man isn't just a quarterback, he's a glitch in the fantasy matrix.
I feel like Josh Allen, he's so dangerous, running and throwing the ball. He can make all the throws.
Since 2021, he's rushed for 2,580 yards and punched in 40 touchdowns on the ground. He runs QB draws like a running back, trucks linebackers in the red zone, and breaks contain on broken plays, then hits a 40-yard rope on the move. Every Allen scramble is a ticking time bomb, and when he's hot, he's a weekly league winner. But Burrow? That's a different kind of dangerous. He's not built to break the pocket, he's built to shred you from it. Burrow's game is all about timing, precision, and decision-making at warp speed. From 2021 to 2024, he's averaged a 69% completion rate, and in the red zone, he's money with 126 touchdowns. Only Patrick Mahomes has more with 131. He's not going to hurdle a linebacker, but Burrow will throw a back shoulder laser on 3rd and 12 with a blitz in his face, and you'll still walk away with 25 fantasy points.
Place it hot!
Burrow catches the shotgun snap, drops back to the 15, fires, caught in the middle of the end zone by Yossi Bosch. Great job.
Big time, baby.
So ask yourself, do you want the cannon and chaos of Josh Allen, the guy who might run for 40 yards and throw 3 picks, then still drop 35 fantasy points? Or do you trust the cerebral assassin in Cincinnati, the one who plays chess while the rest of the league plays Madden? Now, if you want to evaluate a quarterback, look at the team around him. If you want to win your fantasy league, you have to look at who he's throwing to. So let's start with Cincinnati. Yes, T. Higgins is back, which means Burrow heads into 2025 with Jamar Chase, Higgins, and a quietly improving offensive line. It's one of the few offenses where both wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 are legit fantasy starters, and Burrow has instant chemistry with both, but here's the twist. Burrow is actually more efficient when T. Higgins isn't on the field. In 10 career games without him, Burrow has a 106.1 passer rating with 23 touchdowns and just 6 picks.
Burrow retreats, directs, fires for Chase. He's got it! Touchdown, Cincinnati!
With Higgins, that drops to a 100.4 rating with more interceptions and a slightly lower touchdown rate. Burrow goes into full alpha mode when Higgins is out. Now here's the rub. Fantasy owners might actually prefer a Higgins injury because Burrow takes over the offense and pads your stat sheet. Bengals fans want T healthy because the team is 5-8 without him since 2023. However, there is a slight caveat on this scenario. In the last 5 games of 2024, Burrow caught fire with Higgins and Chase on the field. In those games, he threw 13 touchdowns and averaged 316 yards per game with a mind-blowing 76.4% completion rate.
End zone. Oh, what a grab! Touchdown!
Were these games a fluke, or are we finally seeing what could happen when all 3 Bengals stars are finally healthy together? Now let's flip it back to Buffalo. Josh Allen lost Stephon Diggs so long ago that the receiver is now 2 teams removed from his Buffalo days, and no one stepped up to fully replace him yet. Rookie Keon Coleman brings size, and Khalil Shakir showed flashes, but this wide receiver room is the most unproven it's been in years. What's carrying the Bills isn't talent, it's scheme. They run more red zone designed quarterback plays than anyone. They let Allen freelance outside the pocket, and when things break down, he breaks the rules.
The Buffalo Bills have a true franchise quarterback in Josh Allen that can make plays both with his arm and his legs. That might have been the play of the year in the NFL yesterday, that run by Josh Allen.
But let's be clear, this version of Allen is flying solo. James Cook is reportedly unhappy, Diggs is long gone with no one replacing his production yet, and the offense now flows through Allen's arm and legs. So ask yourself, who's set up to succeed more in 2025? Burrow has continuity. He's back in the same system with 2 proven weapons in a timing-based offense built for fantasy efficiency. Allen has chaos. The upside is nuclear, but the margin for error is a whole lot thinner than it used to be. And if this is the year that Josh Allen goes down, you'll likely have spent a much higher pick on him, but more on that in a bit. Fantasy football isn't just about points, it's about survival. You can't win your league if your QB1s in street clothes come week 15, so let's talk durability. Joe Burrow is everything you want in a fantasy quarterback when he's healthy. But since entering the league in 2020, Burrow has already suffered a torn ACL and MCL in his rookie year, a calf strain that ruined the first half of 2023, and a season-ending wrist tear that shut him down for the last month of the year. That's 13 missed games, not to mention multiple weeks where he played at less than 100%.
Whenever you get hurt and it ends it early, it's tough to handle, but that's part of the game. Been through it before, so got to grind it out.
Even when he finishes a season, there's often a getting healthy ramp up that costs you points in September. Burrow's skill set is elite. His body just hasn't held up.
Healthy Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the NFL.
I absolutely think so right now. Healthy Joe Burrow. I mean, who's playing better than him right now?
The only issue is Joe Burrow staying healthy. When he's healthy, of course, this team obviously is Super Bowl caliber, championship caliber, year in and year out.
Now, compare that to Josh Allen. Since taking over as a full-time starter in 2019, Allen has rarely missed a game due to injury outside of rest weeks, including when he played through a sprained UCL in 2022. Josh has absorbed more hits than any other quarterback not named Lamar Jackson and kept going. He doesn't slide, he doesn't shy away from contact, but he also doesn't break. He's built like a defensive end, and somehow he's durable like a punter. And that matters. When the fantasy playoffs hit, you don't want to be scrambling for a QB on waivers. You want availability and predictability, and right now, Josh Allen checks both boxes better than Burrow.
The Buffalo Bills right now look like the best team in the AFC because
You got that quarterback. You can put him on the field against anybody, and he's capable of winning the game for you.
So here's the real risk equation. Burrow gives you cleaner mechanics, elite accuracy, and top 5 upside. But he's already had 3 significant injuries, and history suggests there's always a flare-up risk. Allen gives you chaos, yes, but also 17 games of it. So if your league is tight, your margin for error is small, and you need your quarterback standing tall in December. You already know who your guy is. Now here's where the game inside the game begins, because it's not just who you draft, it's when. In most mocks and best ball drafts, Josh Allen is going early in round 3, right behind guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Travis Etienne, and Devontae Adams. That's premium territory. It means skipping your wide receiver 2 or running back 2 to grab him. Burrow? He's sliding into rounds 5 or 6, right around guys like Mike Evans, Rachaad White, and Christian Watson. Then here's the question. Do you pay up for Allen's weekly ceiling and rushing dominance, or do you wait and scoop Burrow later while stacking elite skill players early? From a pure draft ROI standpoint, Burrow gives you more flexibility. You can go running back, wide receiver to start, and still grab a top-tier quarterback without burning early capital. But here's the counterpoint. Allen gives you insurance. He's never finished worse than QB4 in any of the last 4 years. At that point, you're not just drafting a position, you're locking in 20+ points per week from day 1 through championship week. And when you compare that to the typical round 3 wideout bust rate, suddenly, Allen doesn't feel like a reach. He feels like a safety net that also drops 35 points when you need it.
He's big, he's strong, he's fast, he's pretty explosive, and he's competitive. He just won't give it up, and he's going to do whatever it takes to get the next first down or get the touchdown, and when they need him in crunch time, he's going to show up.
Oh, and Burrow? If you believe Higgins stays healthy, the O-line holds up, and Burrow gets 17 games, you could be getting Josh Allen numbers 2 rounds later. But that's the risk, because what if the calf tightens up again? What if he tweaks his wrist? You're left holding the bag in round 6 with no QB1 and no margin for error. So the draft day decision isn't just floor versus ceiling, it's certainty versus value. Pay up for Allen and control your weekly output, or wait for Burrow and control your roster construction. The reward is massive either way, so the question is, how lucky do you feel in round 6? So let's make the call. Josh Allen is the wrecking ball, the QB who hurdles linebackers, stiff-arm safeties, and scores 30 with his legs alone. He's expensive on draft day, but you're paying for proven power. If you want weekly upside and playoff confidence, Allen's your guy. But Joe Burrow? He's the tactician. A surgeon with a top 5 receiver duo, a cleaner bill of health entering 2025, and the kind of timing-based offense that racks up points without the chaos.
And why he's the best in football. He is the best pure processor, the quickest processor, and therefore the best out of the pocket that there is in football.
And if T. Higgins stays on the field, Burrow gives you Allen-like production 2 rounds later. So here's the verdict. Drafting early and want floor and ceiling? Take Josh Allen in the 3rd and sleep easy. If you're building around elite running back wide receiver value and playing the long game, wait for Burrow in the 6th and stack your roster like a chessboard. But no matter who you choose, don't autopilot your quarterback pick. This one decision could be the difference between a playoff run and a fantasy meltdown. So who's your QB1? The cold-blooded assassin in Cincinnati, or the high-risk, high-reward chaos engine in Buffalo? Drop your pick in the comments section below and hit like if you're rolling with Allen, subscribe if Burrow's your late-round steal, or make everyone happy and do both. This is Snap Count, where fantasy meets football IQ. Draft smart, play bold, win big.